Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I'm going to share with you on how it feels or what to expect when you are moving on after being in a toxic relationship. You see, like moving on after being in a toxic relationship is not one of the easiest things to do because the relationship has left you feeling so emotionally drained or even financially drained, and you will even be feeling so worthless that the prospect of even starting a new life will seem like such a daunting task. And to make things worse, your ex partner doesn't even seem to be bothered about the end of the relationship. And in fact, most times they are already in another relationship, like enjoying themselves, and then you are just there working on this alone. The feelings of betrayal by your toxic ex will weaken you further because you feel that you've been used by someone you still care about or someone you used to care so much about. That's why the aftermath of a toxic relationship will leave your head spinning with plenty of thoughts and questions which might not have any immediate answers. You expected that once you leave the relationship you'd be free, but the reality is physically you are free, but mentally and emotionally you are still like under the spell of your toxic ex. And the thing is, all those experiences you are having after leaving that relationship are just part of your healing journey. And the more you are informed about those experiences or what to expect, the more you'll be better prepared to face those challenging moments. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what to expect when you are moving on after being in a toxic relationship. The first thing you need to know about moving on from a toxic relationship is that you should not expect any closure. Because one thing you may want after leaving that relationship is closure or you wanting answers from your ex so that it can give you a bit of peace. So let me just save you the disappointment. Do not expect it. A manipulator will not offer you any closure, just like how a normal relationship would be. And the only closure you can get is just the closure deep within you. They will not offer you closure because they don't have that genuine level of empathy like you, and they only care about their selfish needs. So there's no need to wait for that peaceful ending and just look at the physical ending of that relationship as the only closure you'll ever get from the narcissist or from your toxic ex, and start working on your healing journey. Of course, there are a number of reasons why they will not give you closure, and I'm going to attach a link to one of my past videos where I explained why a narcissist will not offer you closure. Another thing to expect when you leave a toxic relationship is that you will miss them. After leaving the toxic relationship, you will of course be bitter and angry because of the tortures your toxic ex put you through. But despite all the bitterness you will have, you will still find yourself missing that person, and you can't even understand how you can miss that person who made your life a living hell. And these feelings of missing them will make you like hate yourself or will lead to feelings of self-pity, as you can't comprehend how someone can miss such a terrible person. You'll be telling yourself, how can I miss a person who made me go through all those things? Or how can I miss a person who abused me? So I want you to understand that these feelings of missing them is just a normal experience, and missing them does not mean that you are a bad person. It only means that you are acknowledging your feelings, and that's part of the healing journey. Also, the fact that you are missing them doesn't mean that you want to go back to them. There are a number of valid reasons which of course will make you miss your ex, your toxic ex, and I made a video in the past about that, so I'm also going to link it in the description so that it can help you to come to terms with the fact that you will miss them and it's okay. It's still part of your healing journey. Another thing you need to be aware of when you are moving on from a toxic relationship is that the relationship is never over for them, and they will always try to win you back. You need to be aware of the fact that your toxic ex is probably in a new relationship or has ghosted you or pulled a disappearing act without any closure. Doesn't mean that they have gone forever. Your toxic ex will try and pull every trick in their book to win you back, especially when they feel that you are moving on. They'll try to hook you back in so that they can serve their selfish needs. This because To them, you are all like pawns in their game of supplying their needs. That's why you should always keep that door locked, as you are the only one who can stop them from dragging you back into that cycle of abuse. They'll even try to hover you back, even when you've clearly seen them in another relationship. You might have seen them, let's say, posting photos on Instagram or Facebook that they are enjoying their new relationship, but that night they might still text you and tell you that they are missing you. This is because they just want to keep their supply line in check. And the thing is, they will exploit your weaknesses and strengths to win you back because they know you so much, because you've been together. That's why it's also good to be aware of some of the hoovering techniques they might use, or some of the cards they might play when they want to win you back. So it's never over for them, but for you, it's over. And what you can do is make sure you can't let them back into your life. Another thing to expect when you are moving on from a toxic relationship is that you will experience an emotional roller coaster, and you will also experience a full range of negative emotions. You will feel sad, you will feel lonely, confused, hopeless, and at times you will feel excited, calm, and happy. It will be this non-stop ride that will take you to depths of negative emotions you may have never experienced before. And this is a normal experience, and it will not be a smooth ride for sure. And sometimes you may even feel like you are so overwhelmed, but you still get to soldier on, you still get to move forward. You might have expected the aftermath to be full of happiness and peace just because of your newly found freedom, but to your surprise, you will find that it's even more painful than when you were in the relationship. It's good to know that the negative emotions you will experience after leaving the toxic relationship may be more intense than what you were experiencing while you were in the toxic relationship, because you are experiencing a new wave of negative emotions like loneliness, grief, fear of the unknown, on top of the emotions you were suppressing while you were in that relationship. So everything is just being poured on you. It's like the floodgates of all those painful emotions have now been opened, and they are all like rocking your life. And this is not to scare you, it's just to inform you that you can feel more painful after leaving the relationship, so that you can find a better channel to process those negative emotions and finally heal. Another thing to be aware of when you are moving on from a toxic relationship is that you may want to be alone. Something that will happen after leaving a toxic relationship is you may want to distance yourself from everyone, like from your co-workers, from your family, from your friends, or even from your interests or hobbies. You might just want this alone time for a while and do your own thing while you try to decompress and come to terms with what happened. You will also be scared of interacting with other people because you feel that no one is to be trusted and no one really understands what you've been through. Actually, isolating yourself after leaving a toxic relationship is also like a great defense mechanism from potential triggers that remind you of your toxic ex, or from those people who ask you constant questions of which you have no clear answers. Yeah, we would want, of course, to run away from questions like, what happened? You look so happy together, or are you sure you are making the right decision? So isolating yourself does not make you a bad person. It's just a normal thing, and it can even provide you with the space for deep reflection. One last thing you need to understand about moving on from a toxic relationship is that healing is a journey. It will not be a straight path, and it will be full of meanders and detours. Some days will be much harder than others, but you've just got to push yourself and keep working towards that life you deserve. Also, it isn't really about getting to that destination, but you should just be grateful of the small noticeable improvements you make along the way that enhance the quality and bring meaning to your life. And one thing is, you will also have to be patient and gentle with yourself, and know that there is no one size fits all, and you can't expect a magical improvement overnight. And This aftermath of a toxic relationship is a place where you may endure several months of pain and struggle without having any idea if you are progressing or not. And at times you will even feel that you are better off being in that relationship. But one thing that I want you to know is the journey is worth taking, and going back should not be an option. So, like moving on after being in a toxic relationship is such a huge task. But that shouldn't mean that we stop and do nothing at all. In fact, there are only two paths you can take after leaving a toxic relationship. There is this path of commitment and effort and courage towards healing and rediscovering your authentic self. And then the other path is where you just do nothing at all and just remain stuck with toxic relationship patterns. Let's always choose that emotionally challenging path, which is the path of commitment and effort towards healing and finally finding peace in our lives. One last thing you need to note is if you want better results in your healing journey, focus more on yourself and not on them. Because what your ex is doing is not within your scope of control. And those negative emotions you are experiencing may, of course, drive you to seek a new relationship as an escape. But whatever you do not get into another relationship without healing. Yes, a new relationship might offer you like a temporary relief from the loneliness, from the fear of the unknown, but you are also exposing your vulnerable and desperate self to a possibility of another traumatic relationship. Yes, the work will be emotionally challenging, but the only way out of this permanently is to always go inwards. Just do it. That's it from me today, guys. Hope you found this informative, and as always, I'm here to cheer you on.